In this morning's Health Watch, sex education and teens. A new report from the Centers for Disease Control says nearly all teens in the U.S. have had some sort of formal sex education, but about one-third of them did not learn about birth control. Our medical correspondent, Dr. Jennifer Ashton, is a teen health expert and author of the book, The Body Scoop for Girls, and she is with us live in the studio this morning. Good morning.
Good morning, Harry.
Just as a physician and as someone who specializes in this, and you hear about a third of teens not learning about birth control, what is your reaction?
Not surprising, because there is no standardization across the board as to how we teach sex ed or reproductive health, if you will, to our teenagers. People who teach the class may not be formally trained. In fact, across the board, only about 18% of sex ed teachers have had formal training in the subject. Some of them may not want to teach the subject, Harry. Gym teachers, driver's ed teachers, they may be told, this is what you're teaching, and they might not want to teach it.
It's almost a throwaway thing in a lot of schools.
It can be, and of course the teacher will bring his or her own values into what they're teaching. This is a difficult topic even for parents, for doctors, so it's no surprise that the people teaching it may bring their own
From
issues.
a medical or from a physician's perspective, a third of these kids not having any sort of understanding or no formal training about birth control, what does that mean to you? What is that? How does that resonate with you?
Well, I think in terms of the subject matter, we're putting this into a social context instead of a medical one. And we have to remember the data clearly shows that if you give teenagers all the information, they are in fact less likely to engage in sex or premature reproductive behavior than if they're only taught selectively about things like abstinence. If they are not taught about birth control, they are more likely to get into trouble.
All right, let's talk about some things that parents should know, because if you know that, what you just said about how it's being taught, it really, as usual, it ends up being, you need to be able to talk about it at home. What are things parents need to keep in mind?
Well, you bring up such an important point, Harry. This is something that really should be a group effort. Parents, health professionals, and teachers should all be involved in educating our teens. The first thing is you need to be prepared. Understand that as a parent, your teen may come to you with a question when you least expect it. You might be driving them in the car somewhere. You might be preparing a meal. Be ready with what you want to say. The other thing is very important, be honest and direct with your answers. If you don't know the answer to something, don't be afraid to say, I don't know. The other thing is share your expectations and values. You need to say as a parent to your child, we expect that you do not have sex until X amount of age, and clearly open up more discussion.
All right, Dr. Jennifer Ashton, as always, thanks.
You bet.